Hello and welcome to What's Next. I thought today I'd talk about how I've lowered my blood pressure substantially. When I first got injured, I tried to keep working. I'd started 2 companies and I worked full-time for a tech company. And the only way I could even really walk was down prednisone. But it's sort of a miracle drug in terms of inflammation and pain, but it just about killed me, so blew my blood pressure into the 180s and 140s, and I just sort of ignored it for quite a long time until I started having serious pains in my head and other issues. So after 9 years I really wasn't able to exercise. I couldn't walk fast enough to actually help my blood pressure. So I actually found this company called ElliptiGO and actually talked to quite a few people from the US and the UK. There's quite a few people that had much minor back injuries and they could not do them. So I was really skeptical, but I needed some way to get my blood pressure down even with the blood pressure medicine. They were still having a hard time where I just really didn't think, and taking prednisone like candy is pretty bad. But here, this is the ElliptiGO Arc 24, and sadly they don't make this model or the lower end. I think it's the 3. They only have the 8, and personally, I found them expensive. I mean, it is unique, so I'll give them that in terms of it letting me be able to exercise again and greatly reduce my blood pressure. But the middle line model is definitely, I don't think, is as near good a value. If you're going to buy an ElliptiGO, it should have been a 24, because you get the straps, the fenders, of course it's the speeds. I couldn't ride an 8. I need every gear, especially for here. We've got hills and down hills. It's just all up and down. So overall, I really love the bike. I've had no issues from them. They're reliable. They did have a recall where they tell you to check the weld here, that some were actually cracking away. I've not had that issue. I can do a review too. I bought the Garmin with the heart rate sensor so I can watch my heart rate, just get an idea. It's it's a single sprocket up front, but they have a geared internal hub. That's how they get those gears. I've had no problems with that. You have to have the toe clips, without a doubt. In terms of difficulty, so years ago I used to actually road race. I did a lot of the endurance runs. There used to be a thing called the Midnight Madness. It was a 12-hour endurance race. I used to do those when I was younger. I loved to exercise, so I was constantly riding, exercising up till the wreck. So here's your 3 speeds. It's just like a little paddle shift. And no squeaks, nothing weird. The only issue I've had with the ElliptiGO, so you're up really, really high. These tires only have about 30 miles, and I'll post, I have one video of me wrecking at about 2 miles an hour. That is the only problem. I've had 2 bad wrecks. So, because, I guess because you're up so high and your angle, anything slick. The first wreck was on asphalt, back tire. I was too close to the edge of the road, and it just went right out from under me. It just took a little bit of, I went back and looked after I finally composed myself, and it was just a little bit of, it had rained, so the road was dry, but you get that wet, little bit of sandy conditions on the side of the road. That's all it took. The next wreck, over a wooden bridge at 2 miles an hour. As soon as the front wheel touched it, just went straight out from under me. So I no longer ride if there's a lot of wet or leaves, because those will wreck you. It just will, I guess, I mean, I don't lean, I try to stay nice and upright if I'm anything slightly wet or damp. And it's super adjustable. I was really worried that when I called them for order, I said, well, can you get the stem post high enough that I am not leaning at all, that I stay completely upright? And yes, you can. So I'm 5'8.5". I don't know if you can see it, but got quite a bit of adjustability, so I stay upright. And I was quite nervous at first, but so far, unlike the other people I talked to on YouTube that couldn't do it, I'm able to. And I've had 3 MRIs over the years for my back, so I'll see if I can, I'll post one of my MRIs at the end to show how much damage I have. From L2 all the way to L5, my spine is impacted. That's why I couldn't do any fusion. I even was desperate and tried to apply what's called ADR Gen 2. Germany's quite a bit ahead of the US in lumbar surgery, but I was denied by that because my L2, L3 would not handle it. So, and I don't recommend, maybe I'll do another video on everything I tried back then. I even did months of spinal decompression, which is a scam. I've got before and after MRIs, and I have an orthopedic and a neurosurgeon that said that those were all a scam. But yeah, I might do that. I'll talk about everything I tried to keep my companies and keep working. But if you have any questions about the ElliptiGO, I'll try to answer them. It's an incredible workout. I hadn't exercised in 9 years. My blood pressure was terrible, and a half a mile just felt like my legs were going to explode compared to that. So before the wreck, I still had my Klein Mantra Pro. Loved it. It was one of the few full-scale manufactured bikes that were still manufactured almost completely in the U.S. And of course, my all-time favorite road bike, I had I think it was the Giant ACR Advance 1. It was all carbon. It was just awesome. You get on new pavement and just felt like you were gliding. It was a wonderful road bike. This one, it's tough. Because the small tires, and you get on anything sort of rough and it really vibrates you. But if you can't sit or lean forward, then this is an option for you. You just really have to be careful if don't go across a wood bridge, because it's just going to wreck on you, or be careful in leaves, the rear tire go right out from you. So my wife was sweet enough and got an M sub for me when they had them on sale, so I'll talk about those, because I can't, with all the damage to my back, my shoulders, I can't take any wrecks anymore, so she got me that. So we'll see how that does if it rains, because I really try to exercise or ride just a few miles every day, because it just really makes my head feel so much better. So, well, I will, if you have any questions, post it, and I'll answer anything I can about ElliptiGO. Take care.